Hey friends, I'm back, and I'm still in the kitchen. But right now I'm going to be making a dessert for tonight. It's going to be for just me because my partner can't have sweets. He's a diabetic, but I decided I wanted to show how to do air fried pies in our brand new air fryer. I love this baby. Number one, it keeps a lot of the fats and oils out of our foods because you don't need it with this guy. So I'm going to be doing those. You may have done something similar. You know, the older way was to prepare these and actually deep fry them in lard or oil or whatever you were cooking in, and this way you're not having to do that and you're going to get the same result. So our air fryer does obviously air frying. It also acts as a rotisserie. It's a dehydrator. You can warm up food in this and do a lot of different things in here. So it has a door rather than a drawer, and the door is removable for cleaning purposes. It comes with the drip pan here, which I'm just going to leave right there, and then I'm going to just reassemble it because I have recently cleaned it. It's got the screen to protect the heating element at top, so that just slides right in there. All right, and then it's got it comes with two cooking trays. That's what we're going to be cooking the pies on. All right, and then it also comes with the fryer basket. This is what you would be using when you're doing things like French fries or just the smaller items, onion rings. Hey Connie, how you doing? Something like that. And then it also comes with this handle, and once you have the basket in there, oops, excuse me, I've just thrown it in there. But once you have the basket in there and in place, and it's time to take it out, well, you don't want to put your hand in there because it's going to be hot. So there's this little handle that will bring it out for you, so you're not going to burn yourself. All right, and you would also use that along with the spit. The spit is what you would use for rotisserie, chickens. You can get like a 4.5 to 5 pound chicken in there. Anything larger, and it's going to be a little bit tight. All right, but 4.5 to 5 pound chicken, that's going to feed a couple people. So that is what this is for. You can also do Cornish hens on the spit. You can do pork roast, just about anything. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move all of this aside so I can get my air fryer in place. Move that aside, close the door, and I love the fact that, again, just like the quick cooker, the handles are down here at the bottom, so it's just more balanced in trying to move them. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this plugged in just to get it ready to go. All right, and I'll turn it this way so we can I can show you what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm going to be using is going to be, I have pastry puff that I've already defrosted. It's been sitting out of the freezer for about 45-50 minutes. I just wanted to get it good and flexible so that I could work with it. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and get my flour. I do keep my flour in a canister in a Ziploc bag, just to keep it airtight. All right, and I'm just going to take just a pinch of flour and I'm going to sprinkle it on the top. All right, and I've already put a little bit at the bottom, but I'll put a little bit more at the front and back here because I am going to roll this out a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to take our rolling pin. This is our marble rolling pin. Still a little wet from where I had cleaned it. So this is our marble rolling pin, and it is very, very heavy. you know, when I say that, it's got a good weight to it for doing something like this. All right, so I'm gonna put that back in there because I want to put just a little bit more flour on top. All right, and then I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my rolling pin. All right, and I'm just going to try to keep the shape, so I'm not going to go crosswise or anything like that. I'm just, you know, bringing it down, just like so. So I'm more trying to stretch the length of it rather than the width of it. All right, so just like that. And I'll just kind of rub that flour in. I probably added more flour than I needed, but it's not going to hurt anything because it's just going to cook in with everything else. All right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our pizza crust lifter and cutter, and I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to eyeball it, but I'm going to just cut this into 4 pieces. Okay, just like so. So I've got 4 identical pieces. All right. And now that I have them stretched, now is when I'm going to try to get the width to work with me just a little bit more. All right. So now I'm going to roll it this way and try to get more of a square rather than a rectangle. Something about like that. Doesn't have to be perfect in any manner. I mean, just something like that. Okay? So now we have a square that we're working with. All right, I'm just going to lift it up. Might put a little bit more flour at the bottom of this, just to make sure that we don't run into issues once we start putting it together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put one together completely and put it in the air fryer, and then while I make the other 3, we'll have one cooking for us. All right. So once again, I'm going to roll this to make that square. Okay, and I am cheating. I'm just using the canned pie filling, and I'm just going to take it and put it into one of our 3-cup prep bowls using our smooth edge can opener. I love our smooth edge can opener because it will cut the lids off and not give you like those sharp edges. So, and the way you do that, you see the little magnet there, you're just going to butt it up against the can, and you're going to slightly turn it to your right, and then you'll feel it pop when it starts engaging, and then you just twist it around. Now, as you see, the handle is actually up rather than on the side like most hand can openers. So the handle is supposed to be facing the ceiling, and then you're going to feel another pop once it's gone all the way through, just like that, and you slightly turn it to the left to let it go. All right, and then there's a little pincher right there. You see that? With a button on the other side that will help engage that. And we're just going to pinch that and pull up. And you see that? It takes the whole lid off for you. Hey Patsy, how you doing? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my scraper here. And I'm literally just going to pour this into the bowl. All right. Okay. So there's that. And then what I'm going to do, because these are handheld and those apples are a little large, I'm going to take our food chopper And I'm just going to run the food chopper through this to make these apples a smaller size, more appropriate for like a handheld pie, because you don't want to have a lot of big pieces in there, because that way you're going to end up, if you keep the larger pieces, you're going to end up probably with one piece of apple and the rest sauce. So we want to kind of chop that up a little bit. So that's done right there. And I'm going to dry my hands off. And then with this, I'm going to take our large scoop, all right? And I'm going to put the pie mixture probably 2.5 of these scoops, like that, just enough for one side, all right? And with that, I'm going to go ahead and fold this over, and I'm going to push it down ever so gently, and stretch it over, just like so. Okay, and quite honestly, probably 2 of the scoops would have been enough, because I have a little bit of the juices coming out on the edges, but that's fine. We got a overstuffed pie here. And then what I'm going to do is use our little crimper that actually comes with our pretzel kit, our soft pretzel kit, and I'm just going to run it along the sides here to crimp those edges nicely, all right, to make sure everything is sealed up. Now, if you don't have the crimper, you can use a fork on dough like this, and it will work just as good. And I'm going back over this one because, like I said, I think I overfilled it a little bit, so I want to make sure everything gets sealed, because last thing I want to do is have my pie filling popping out in the middle of cooking. So I think that sealed everything just like so. All right, so then what I'm going to do, actually I am going to get a fork, just because note to self, it should only be two scoops. I am going to use a fork on this one side because it just seemed like it kept popping open. All right. So, but as I was telling you, a fork will do the same thing as that crimper, so that is absolutely fine. So then there is the first pie, and all I'm going to do is take, and just out of precaution, I'm going to take my spritzer and just put a little bit of oil on the screen here to help keep everything moving, like when it gets done, so that I can easily lift it off. All right, and I'm going to just take this bad boy ever so carefully. And I'm going to do the same thing. It is really full, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, just to make sure that stays closed, because we don't want that opening up while we're cooking it. All right, I'm going to grab my spatula here. This is just absolutely full, isn't it? Okay, and we're going to put this right onto the screen. Now, y'all, this is the first time I've done these with the air fryer. So I've already learned that you can't overfill them. So So if it comes out a little bit wonky, I apologize, but this is for 350 on the air fry setting. All right, and hold on 1 second. I'm going to stop it, cancel that, and I'm going to turn it, cancel. We want it on the air fry setting. There we go. And air fry by default sets at 25 minutes, and I'm going to set this down to 10 minutes. Okay? And so while that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and just wipe this juice off. And remember, only 2 scoops, or maybe even a scoop and a half on those, because that one I believe is probably a little too full. But it was my own learning curve on that one. So I'm going to go ahead, put some flour down. All right. And I'm going to roll this to stretch the dough a little bit. Now you can do this same type of recipe and use biscuits. I actually have some to do later on, another day to do some with biscuits, and I'm going to do more of a peach cobbler type dessert, but that will be on another day. But this is like stuff you could do, especially right now with the family being around or the kids being home. You could do this and have, these little desserts, and the ingredients aren't hard to get a hold of. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with like a scoop and a half and leave room for that dough. I think that will be much better. So and I'm just going to use the fork, just like that. And you just want to press down and crimp those edges. Right around there. Okay. Yeah, that feels much better. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and just put this right onto a screen and get it ready to go in once the air fryer is done. Alright. So again, we're going to stretch that dough out. Whoop. Just like so, to make a square. About 2 scoops. Just like so. And then with the fork, I'm just going to press it down and get those edges sealed. Now with the air fryer, it's already at 7 minutes. It will give you an indicator when it is 50% done. That's so that when you're doing multiple items, it will allow you to rotate them. Put the bottom on the top and the top on the bottom, and then also gives you a chance to check them for stuff like this. Now, I may end up having to cook it a few more minutes, but I prefer, especially on something like this that I, want to watch a little bit closer. Also, something that I've never actually made before. I'm not going to put it for more than 10 minutes before I check it. So there we have it. Our last one. And we're going to put 2 more scoops in there, and that was pretty much a perfect amount. So 1 can of apple pie filling will make about 4 of these individual pies. Just like so. And this one is getting a little full on the end again, but I'm sure we'll be fine. And you know what? That's the fun of doing this at home, is it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to be yummy. So just like that. Now, and I chose to use the pastry dough because I just love the texture of something like that that you can do. Now, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to check it. All right, and I'm going to just use my mini oven mitt right here to pull it out. And you see, yeah, it was a little bit overfilled. You'll see it, Kate, was coming out on the side, but you see how pretty that is? I'm gonna cook that, 3 or 4 more minutes in the same position. And guys, quite honestly, I'm having the same problem over here with that opening back up. I had brought the stuff out here to do an egg wash for that, but it doesn't look like it really needed it. So I tested the first one without it just to see, but it is just beautifully gold. So I don't think that with the pastry puff that's a necessity. You can do it if you choose, but what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to have one of them for dessert tonight, and then these other 3 I'm actually going to let them cool down. I'll put them in a Ziploc, and I'm going to throw them in the freezer, and I'm going to have little personal pies for a few days for whenever I want them. So I will show you this pie here in just a second. I don't think it's going to take the full amount of time, quite honestly. I'll go ahead and take it out. It could be a little bit darker, but I want to show you how it looks like on the inside. And then I'm going to go ahead and get these 3 started. Now I'm not going to make you continue to watch while I cook these 3 as well, but I thought it would be good for me to at least have one to show you. And I'm going to cancel this. Maybe. Okay, and I'm going to turn it on air fryer again. Okay, and this time for the air fry, I think I'm going to set it for 8 minutes. And check it at that. All right. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take my pie that I cooked right here. All right. And it should be able to come right off of there. Some of that pie filling is kind of holding on to it. So I'll go ahead and get that same spatula. And pull that right off. Just like so. All right, and there you have it. When you're ready to eat it, you'll just take your little crust cutter, and y'all look at that. Nice homemade pie right there in the oven or in our air fryer. So I hope you enjoyed it, and once again, thank you for watching, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye-bye.